We have a PvP on our hands. And I hate to say it, but it is starting on King's Cove, because them's the rules. Here we go. We are in the bottom right-hand corner with our first Protoss, wearing the blue colors. It is Badyleqq. Oh, hold on just a minute. Ooh, my heart just stopped a little bit. So the key to rotate the camera in StarCraft 2 is delete. But I still had my mouse selected on OBS, and I just almost deleted my entire OBS setup for this StarCraft scene. Oh, that was close. All right. So, on the StarCraft stream that is still working, unbelievably. In the pink, also playing Protoss, it is Duceman. Now, if you've been on the stream for a while, you saw Badyleqq play earlier. He did very, very well against his opponent. I have not yet seen Duceman play. Badyleqq, he's trying to do a gas steal. Pardon me, a gas steal there. And, okay, gonna get chased away by another probe. Trying to get gas steal, gas steal. Nah, Duceman gets it down. Cute little play there from Badyleqq, but it didn't quite work out. He still gets a full scout off. Sees what his opponent's up to. Did he see that second gateway? Yeah, he did. If he clicked on it real fast, he saw the second gateway. So fingers crossed he should be all right. And man, you could not have a more mirror match if you tried. I've put AIs against each other, doing the same build, and their matches are more diverse than this. Wow. It is always tough to stay on top of the first couple moments of a PvP. First Adept here coming out for Badyleqq as his probe returns back home. Duceman sending a scouting probe over. Ooh. Pardon me, one moment, sorry. Oh, man. Ooh. Goodness gracious. I'm not sure what my uptime is right now, but it's got to be disgusting. I can feel my throat like actively telling me not to say words anymore. So I got to keep it pretty cool for the last couple games, and not too much excessive shouting or anything. All right, Twilight Council could be the tech of choice here for Badyleqq. I don't know that we've seen tech of choice yet from his opponent. I don't see anything out on the map for Duceman as far as tech goes. Just a couple of stalkers so far. So Adept versus Stalker, that's going to be a quick little attack here. But it looks like Badyleqq not... Okay, maybe is he going to expand soon? I don't know. He's getting Zealot Charge. Uh-oh. So here we go. Okay. Zealot Charge is coming in now from Badyleqq. It's a very early Zealot Charge, but there's a Robo Facility down for Duceman. Wow, I can't believe these two Adepts got into the base. I thought they were toast. 8 probe kills. Are you kidding me? Hokey smokes. These Adepts are murderous. I love it. 11 probe kills. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so those Adepts were working overtime, and Badyleqq is now should be way ahead of his opponent who has expanded, but isn't seeing any of the value of it yet. Oh, goodness gracious, that's dangerous. So here we go. He's got 2 Zealots out already, adding on 2 extra gateways back home for a total of 4 gates, adding a Robo as well, which means he wants to probably pepper in an Immortal or maybe just a Warp Prism to reinforce with this, and a Forge. Badyleqq looks like he's not going all in. I think he might actually try and sit back and play a normal game. I don't believe it. Robo Facility. Forge. Extra gates. Surely he's just going to move out. He's got to get a Warp Prism, right? Duceman's back home. Doesn't have a lot. A couple Stalkers and a Sentry. Might be enough. Although with Zealot legs, this could be a decent attack, actually. Let's get that Warp Prism out of the map and see if he can reinforce. Phoenix is going to come in and see what he's up against here. We'll see the Warp Prism being made in the Robo Facility. Saw all the gates, sees that there's no natural expansion, and I feel like he should know that something big is coming. I expect him to drop a couple shield batteries or something soon. There we go. 2 shield batteries getting dropped by Duceman. And it looks like he's going to be ready for this attack. Those shield batteries almost certainly going to finish as the Warp Prism has not yet arrived to reinforce. Warp Prism just finishing up and heading out for Badyleqq as this first attack wave hits. Now these shield batteries are about 10 seconds away from finishing up, but it looks like the attack is going to come. Zealot Charge is going to help him get on top, but some bad control is going to prevent the Zealots from getting a whole lot of work done. There are a lot of Stalkers, but the batteries have finally arrived. Both batteries powering it up, but the Zealot Leg Charge is actually forcing these Stalkers further away from the shield batteries. The shield batteries not doing any work, and with the lack of micro here, Duceman is getting hurt incredibly poorly. Oh my goodness, his entire army getting absolutely decimated. 1 Stalker pops out, but it's not going to be enough. The probes have been pulled, but there's a big warping of Zealot Legs, charged Zealots coming in, and it looks like it's open season on probes. Probius, don't look. And Badyleqq is going to take game number 1. Oh, that was disgusting. That is a replay I have got to go back and watch another time, because I did not think. I saw the 2 Stalkers at the front, and I thought, they'll push away the 2 Adepts, no problem. And then, oof, man. Alright, so let's see what Duceman chooses for his map. He is going to get primo map choice this time, since the loser gets to choose map number 2. Duceman needs to change his hotkeys really quick. Okay, let's take a little break then. My voice could honestly use the rest. I'm going to throw 3 minutes back on the clock. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll get back into game number 2 between Badyleqq and Duceman. Okay, we are back for game number 2 between Duceman and Badyleqq. What a match so far. We have not had a lot of Protoss players in these tournaments. I was very surprised. So having a PvP to cast near the end of the match so far, I am honestly not too disappointed with, I gotta be honest. And here we go. Since he won the first game, he did not get to choose the map. But with a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series, the blue Protoss on the right side of year 0 LE, it is Badyleqq. And his opponent on the far left, in the pink, coming off a tough loss with some early stalker pressure, it is Duceman. Last game, Badyleqq went for some really early aggression. He never even dropped a second Nexus. Charged lots, a couple of stalkers, and he just went for it on 4 gates and 1 base. We'll have to see if that is the case this time around. So far, both builds seem to be pretty identical, but that's pretty normal for PvP. This music's great, man. It's the most chill soundtrack. This track specifically is so chill. I love it. It fits the Terran theme so well because it's got like that steel guitar in the background, little fiddle happening as well. Exactly what you would expect Confederate space, junkies to play. It's nice. It's nice. Can't say good enough things about the music direction. Basically with everyone at Blizzard. Every one of their games just kills it. Speaking of music, I know this is a little off topic, but I watched the Nintendo Direct for Super Mario Maker 2, and I heard that Koji Kondo is writing new music for Super Mario Maker 2. I mean, amazing. I would probably buy it for that alone. Alright. Badyleqq going for double stalker. This little probe, I think, is going to get roasted by a stalker, I'm afraid. And the probe up top, is he going to wall off? No, he's just dropping a second pylon there, so that's all right. We do see another expansion here from Duceman, so we'll see if he cancels that expansion after seeing 2 stalkers pop out. But it looks like he's investing a lot of time in this. His probe gets a full scout, sees what he's up against, sees that 3rd gateway, and leaves this expansion on the low ground. I think... Oh, man. I think Duceman could be in some trouble here. If this Nexus finishes, he's going to be invested in a much longer game than the game that's actually coming at him. Because we can see Badyleqq is not stopping with these gateways. Another stalker coming out even now. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Warp Gate research about 3/4 of the way done. Twilight Council again on the way for either Zealot Leg Charge or Blink here. Okay, so Badyleqq dropping a natural expansion, meaning that he's not going 100% all in this game. Thank goodness. At least he does have a natural coming across. Scouting Phoenix from Duceman much earlier this game is going to get a full scout. We're going to be able to see everything that's going on in his opponent's base. There shouldn't be any stalkers there to prevent it. So Duceman has got to be feeling a little bit better about where he's going. He's going to see the chrono going down on there and know that either Blink or Zealot Charge is coming at him quite quickly. In fact, these stalkers moving... Oh, that's a very smart move by Badyleqq, moving these stalkers out of range so he can't count. So Duceman is unable to count exactly how many stalkers he's got. 2 shield batteries at the front door here for Badyleqq, and Duceman is going to spot those last 4 stalkers, I think, at the last second. Wow. Just spots him, and the stalkers pick off the hallucinated Phoenix. Back at home for Duceman, he's got a lot of army, actually. Look at all these stalkers and a sentry. He has been chronoing out those units like you would not believe, and there it is, dropping a robo facility. Now his robo facilities, dropping robo facility and Twilight Council. So his robo facility is going to be at about the same time as his opponent, but of course the Twilight Council for Badyleqq is almost already done researching Blink. He has another forge on the way. It looks like this is the exact, like almost a very similar build here from Badyleqq as last time, where he's got an expansion this time to make it a little different, and a couple shield batteries to keep himself a little safer. So it's a little slower, but oh man, I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Badyleqq. However, gotta say, Duceman got a lot going on back home. Let's see what he starts at this Twilight Council now that it's finished up. Both players are a little mineral starved right now as they've pushed out a lot more units than I think they would have liked to otherwise. Blink about to finish up here for our Protoss player Badyleqq. No Twilight Council research for Duceman just yet. Observer from the Robo Bay. Okay. More stalkers. More sentries. +1 from Badyleqq. Sending his own observer out. Oh, and it's got that sweet skin on it. Check that out. That skin looks awesome. Love it. He's going to see a whole hell of a lot of stalkers, that's for sure. Now, Duceman had an observer out. I'm not sure where it was. It's possible that this observer from Badyleqq gets sniped, actually. Yeah, there it is. The observer going to get... Ooh, pulls it away at the last minute there. Oh. There it is. Sets up just outside the base. All right. So we see more hallucinated Phoenix coming out from Duceman, trying to figure out what Badyleqq is up to here. Badyleqq powering up on 2 bases. Getting his +1. Zealot Charge now on the way for both players. Of course, Blink is already finished for Badyleqq, and Zealot Charge is an addition to that. Both players just building up these gateway armies. We do see Immortals coming out for Badyleqq, and I think Immortals were on the docket as well for Duceman. Hey, Mets 6. Thanks for the follow, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the tournament. We're nearing the end of the tournament for today, but don't be disheartened. We are back tomorrow with 7 more hours of Platinum Heroes glory. Oh man, it's gonna be such a good day, such a good weekend. I'm having so much fun, and I'm glad you guys are too, even if you're stopping by and not watching WCS. All right, so both players building up surprisingly similar armies here. If we look from one to the other, it's very difficult to tell who's really on top in this game. A couple Immortals always help the player with more Immortals. Is always in a bit better shape here. And of course, Badyleqq does have Blink much earlier as an opponent than his opponent, but there's nothing to stop Duceman from picking up Blink there if he wants it as well. Both players dropping a third at very similar times. Badyleqq a little further behind, but not cripplingly so. The first advanced tech coming out from Duceman here. We've got Templar Archives. There's no Templar Archives on the other side of the map for Badyleqq, but he is dropping a second Forge. Okay, and a couple more gateways. Both players powering up a lot of gateways now. This is interesting. This is just an arms race now. A very, very low damage. Look at the units lost tab. A very low damage arms race. 1 observer and 1 probe. The only casualties 8 minutes in to this match. This is an interesting choice. Duceman chose Year 0. He lost the first game, so he got to choose the map this time around. Usually when players choose a map, especially a map like Year 0, they have something in mind. They have a plan, they have a build they want to execute. I have to say, with all due respect to Duceman, it doesn't look like he's taking advantage of this map pick at all. I feel like if you have the power to pick the map, there's usually something you can do to create an advantage for yourself because you have practiced something. You are ready to go. Whereas your opponent has to, reach into their bag of tricks and think for a while. But I'll be honest and say that it looks like Duceman is just sort of sitting back and waiting here, and not taking advantage of anything that's been afforded to him. So he's going to scout out with the hallucinated Phoenix. He should see a little bit of everything. Sees that his opponent's taken a third base. He'll know a little bit more than Badyleqq does. But man, to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Duceman's grand plan here is. More Immortals, more Pylons, more and more of the same. We can see both players, roughly even in just a 300 mineral difference here. A little spike here and there as the third base finished a little bit before his opponent. So Duceman with a moderate income lead, but nothing overwhelming, certainly. We can see the army supply and, well, now the army supply is changing a bit. But yeah, both players looking pretty good so far. Wow, this is a difficult one to call. Now, Warp Prism from Badyleqq, that could be a nice touch here. That'll help him to reinforce if he does go on the offensive, or possibly cause some confusion and corruption on his opponent's side of the map. We'll have to see, though. It's not rallied to the other side of the map yet, so it looks like that might just be for support if he moves across the map in an aggressive posture. But of course, Duceman not looking like he wants to budge from that very safe defensive position. The Warp Prism is now out, and that seems to be what Badyleqq was waiting for. With that Warp Prism out, his army now begins to move across the map. Luckily, there's nothing holding this Xel'Naga watchtower, so this push out is completely unseen by his opponent. His opponent teching up back home, building a 4th base, building a 2nd robo facility, has a lot of gateways in a nice little grid pattern, I will say. But the army from Badyleqq is going to catch this hallucinated Colossi, which is a cute little play. Immediately going to go down. Badyleqq going to warp in more Templar here for more Archons, I believe. And here we go. It looks like the engagement is going to happen here. Charge Zealots at the front for Badyleqq are going to do a lot of damage early on and soak up a lot of that damage. And that should allow his Archons to get on top here. We do see a lot of Stalkers that aren't getting stuff done, but their Duceman moves to the higher ground, giving him a lot of advantage. And there we go. Badyleqq's army is entirely trapped behind those 3 Archons at the ramp. So not the best engagement that we've seen from either player, but it did even the scales just a little bit. I think Badyleqq came away a little bit on top. And here we go. We can see him reshuffling his army, moving those charge zealots out front again, and getting their charges off onto the army. The Archons in the front again. A couple Archons trapped in the back, but 4 Archons in the front getting a lot of damage done and tearing through Duceman's army. Duceman forced to retreat back to the natural, up that ramp where he has the advantage. Archons disappearing like late game snow. And we can see another Archon finishes up, and there's the aggressive blink there from Badyleqq, who thinks he's got this one. I'm very surprised to see him moving those gateway units for that far forward. It looks like his Archons and Immortals are starting to take a little bit of damage here, but both fighting forces getting completely depleted. Duceman losing all of his Archons, 4 Immortals against the weight of the world, and I don't believe it. I think Badyleqq has somehow broken through. Unbelievable. The last 2 Immortals go down. There's a weird force field that gets thrown, and a couple Zealot warp-ins. Look like they're... Oh, man, the game's going to end, though. Look at that. Charge Zealots everywhere from Badyleqq. More than twice the army supply of his opponent. The Proby boys have been pulled, but they are lambs to the slaughter. And Duceman is going to tap out of this tournament. 0-2. Badyleqq moves forward. Congratulations, buddy.